You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. Good morning, Cappy. Repeat customer here. I've got another question I'd like to hear your video response about. When you talk about women replacing a man with a government check, what kind of benefits are you referring to exactly? I did the research for this one, and I thought I knew. Holy shit. I don't want to hear you people complain about people. I don't. There is so much fucking help out there. That it's one of the reasons that I was all for a basic guaranteed income. Because with all the overhead that goes into managing all these different programs at state, federal, and local levels, county and city, I mean, it is not really even to help out the poor. It is to employ all you fucking government bureaucrats. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, so what is it? What benefits? It's everything. It's everything. I'm going to go through a list. We'll go through the results here later, but it's everything you could imagine. But the only thing they don't have is a free ride on the space shuttle for people. Surely you're not eligible for benefits if you're just a single woman. You must be a single mother to qualify, right? Or am I wrong there? No, it all depends. It depends. There are, well, if you include all, see, each state doesn't have the exact same programs. They have their own unique benefit programs. So there are probably, I'd estimate, thousands of programs between all the layers of government. And when I was doing the research for the pillage section, or chapter on Enjoy the Decline, there pretty much every program, though not all, has some kind of requirements. You must have children, otherwise you can't get WIC because it's for women, infants, and children. Daycare, obviously you need to have kids. There's grants. Here's some fucking money. You have to have income. Income is another one. Assets, cash in the cash account. So there's these requirements, and now I'm remembering even more. I'm like, dude, by the time you're done filling out all this damn paperwork and proving it and pulling it, you could have applied for like 5 or 6 different jobs. You could have even filled out the Talio brass ring, application, which is 800 pages. You could build a house. You spend, I've said it before, the left in general, whether you're the parasitic left or the professional left, the ones that complain all the time. If you all just put half that effort and energy into cleaning up your room, meaning getting a job, you'd be way better off financially than you are constantly waiting to suck off another drip from the government teat. But it's an entire industry unto itself. Do you think they'll actually set you up pretty well, or would you be living right at the poverty line? Well, here's an interesting question. We'll address this one. Yeah, if you're a single dude, or you're just a savvy single woman, and you don't have kids, and you play your cards right, you could totally live. I mean, that's why I told you, you live in a van, you keep your money out of the bank account. I mean, you can live a little bit above the poverty line, especially if you're a minimalist, you'll be perfectly fine. But what I have found is that when it comes, not even necessarily to poor people, but just people in general, but since we're talking about government assistance, we're going to focus on poor people, they will spend right up to and above their limit. And they will always manage to fuck up their career and finance, or not even their career, but their finances. And usually the number one cause of poverty, I've said before, is kids. They will have kids to the point that they will be poor. They will be underneath the poverty line on a per capita basis. And if they just had a little bit of savviness in a personal financial management 101 and the tenacity, or is it temerity, the desire to actually stick to it, then I think that you really wouldn't have these poor people with these poor kids that are being raised in shit condition. But you got to spit out another 3 kids because reasons. Then you talk a teenage pregnancy again. Go to Natrona County High School, and you got a 14-year-old girl who's pregnant. It's like, well, fuck. you're just fucked. You're just fucked. You got fucked, and now you are fucked. And when you're that dumb and irresponsible, no amount of money is going to fix stupid. No amount of money. Well, okay, the Kennedys are pretty dumb and they got a lot of money. So, okay, gobs of money. Yeah, okay, that'll fix some problems. But, if you don't come from gobs of money, no amount of government checks are going to fix stupid. And it seems to be one of the most important subjects. Oh, wait. forgive my ignorance, but after years of listening to you, Molyneux, and other manosphere guys, it occurred to me that I have no idea about the specifics of government benefits to women. I'll put a link down below, and you'll just be amazed. And keep in mind, they're not all just for women. Women, because they have kids, some programs back in the old days were set up for women. But some men can qualify from it too. It's just that culturally, societally, even non-profitly, religiously, we're always, we got to take care of the women, women and children first, abandon the ship, save the women and children. And some of that, albeit a holdover, is still reflective in government programs. Plus, there's every incentive the Democrats, that's their strategy, is divide and conquer us based on race, ethnicity, sexual preference, and all that other stuff. And they have decided that they are going to take women, because women typically need more money than men. You don't like it, then don't bother with the size. I'm just talking truth here. There's that New Zealand chart where it's like net consumption or net production of resources, and women are negative consumers of resources over the course of their life. They're net consumers. They produce less than they consume, so they run a deficit. What comes this? And it seems to be one of the most important subjects when it comes to overall societal decline through government encouraging irresponsible behavior. Yeah, right. No, it is. It is. Once you take away the cost and the responsibility of making bad decisions, the human species fails to learn, and you keep making these bad decisions, and you inevitably crush the system by having more producers than parasites. That's basically what happened. And then you're like, why are things so shitty? Hey, it's George Bush. It's Trump. It's white guys with dicks who are Christians and employed. The idiocy that comes from it. I know I could look at all this shit myself. I have to work pretty much every waking minute these days, and frankly, I'd rather hear you talk about it. Anyway, lastly, I'm just talking about the specifics of the U.S. system here. No need to make this longer by delving into other countries as well. I say, okay, well, if you want me to look at all the programs, that's going to be hundreds of dollars. And so we agreed kind of on this simplified version. If you were a single woman out to play the system, what would you do? What do you think about that one? I say, okay, good, I can do that one. All right. So there's me. If I was a single woman, what would I do? But then there's what would I recommend to a single woman with no moral ramifications, a philosophical experiment. So there'd be a little bit of difference. The first thing I would do to get pity and qualify myself for a ton of other resources is I would have a kid. In wedlock, out of wedlock, it doesn't matter. I would have a kid that I couldn't afford, and I'd dump it off with my parents. And if my parents weren't going to take care of it or whatever, I would employ as much of the government infrastructure to take care and babysit my kids for me. So you have pre-K, you can get government programs for that. You can get government programs for daycare. You can get Head Start programs. Let's be very clear, right? K through 12 might have had some semblance or original intention of educating the kids. Programs like Head Start and after-school programs, that's just free babysitting for people who can't afford it, and you want to be ashamed that you can't pay, so you have to have fun. That's what it is. That's all it is. So I get them into those programs so they'd be off my ass as quickly as possible. Then I would go to college, and if I was me, if I was me, I would never have the kid in the first place, but we're having a weird philosophical or theoretical conversation. I would then use all the government programs to help single mothers and scholarships and everything. My job would be going and looking for government grants, going to programs and workshops and whatever. Help me out, ladies. Where's the program? And there's already systems and programs, predominantly paid by government money. Here's this program, here's that program, here's this program. So you can go to a social worker at the county. That's like kind of your first entry into this world of what you qualify for. But then just some searching on the internet. Single mother help. Oh, tons of programs. And then I would be applying for scholarships, food, all that other shit that I could get. Me, then I would go and major in STEM. I would major in like chemical engineering or something like that. That's what I would do. And then I'd have as much of that paid for by the government taxpayers. So I could get a real degree and a real job. All right? If I was your typical, born out of wedlock loser single mom, who doesn't really give a crap about the kids, that's already shipping the kids off to daycare, dropping the kids, that kind of irresponsible. Then what I would do is go a different route, and I go to college and I major in stupid shit. I major in the typical fluffy bunny things that women disproportionately major in. I'd probably major in social work. I'd maybe aim to become a teacher. Early childhood education. I mean, these don't pay well, but you would get so much more, what's it called, kudos or cachet being a single mother in these professions and fields, that you get preferential hiring, preferential treatment. Elementary, I would avoid being a nanny. For God's sake, don't be a nanny. You don't go to college for that, but even pre-K, you'd have to get your master's in it, and then I'd be aiming for the teacher, nonprofit, director type of person. I'd even then stay in longer to get a master's or doctorate, as long as I could keep getting on the government taxpayer's dime, so that I could at least get a master's, which would then allow me to teach at college. Now, I know that article came out about adjunct professors all living in poverty. That's not necessarily true, but it gives you the choice to teach college, which you can do on the side. You make a little bit of money. But we're not there yet. Okay? Now, hold on. So, I'd be in college to get my advanced degree. Now, until I was employed, and if I had not done so already, I would apply to these programs. And these are the ones that I looked up and kind of think about. So, Medicaid, free health care. Or now, more commonly, I guess you'd be going through the state insurance exchanges. But once again, other people's money paying for your shit. TANF, that's a food program. WIC, and then I'd be the Women with Infants and Children. And then I would go, TANF is WIC is the food program. TANF is cash needs assistance, or cash is, I think you just get cash for that one. I go on SSI, disability. Oh, disability, that's I forgot about that one. I would see if I could get a mental disability. Like I had some kind of mental problem and make it up, like all you millennials do. I got the Asperger's, I got the ADHD. Actually, it was more your teachers and parents telling you had that because they didn't want to spend the time raising you or disciplining you. But whatever, there's potpourri of bullshit psychological programs, problems that you can have. See if you can get disabled. See if you can collect disability. And then good old standard government housing or Section 8 housing. That's what I do. Now, we go to the state. Just one letter down. And I looked up Minnesota on this one website. And here's to give you an example of what I was telling you before. Minnesota has a Minnesota Family Investment Program. Well, what the fuck is that? I don't know. I can guarantee you, though, it's not the same as Michigan's. It's not the same as California's. It's not the same as Florida. Each state and county and city is going to have their own unique thing. Then from there, after going and researching and finding what else I qualify for, I'd start looking at nonprofits and churches and things like that. If I get meals, go down to the meal place. I got a buddy, he used to live with me, and he was a drug addict, and he knew it. He could eat for free basically because he would just go to all the different churches and free foods and food shelters, and you can live quite easily. Especially as a single individual, and especially if you have dropped off your kids with your parents. So, we got that. So I would then do just, triage it down. Federal, state, county, city, nonprofits, which includes, the school that I'd be going to, every university must have some kind of program to help those single mothers. So, that's what I would do. All right. Now, I would then hold out for a pretty good job offer. I would hold out. May or may not be coming, or I would be in these programs. I'd be working my way into working for one of these programs myself. But the real issue is that would be kind of individually. Like, getting these cushy made-up government programs, you're still living off of the system, but the average person who's never worked a real job in their life, like teachers, they always think, we work so hard. It's like, no. Bakken oil field workers work hard. Marines work really hard. The merchant Marines work really hard. The deadliest catch people work really hard. Accountants during business season work really hard. You don't work hard. You've just never had a real job. So, once again, getting to this weirdo world I'm in now, if it was clarity, I'd be applying for chemical engineering positions or electrical engineering positions or something like that. If I was standard 14-year-old ditz who couldn't keep her legs shut from Natrona County, And I don't think I'd be wise enough to realize, oh, dude, what, 9 months a year? I play with little kids, and I don't have to like, really do anything, and I got a B plus average on that in that college degree I took. I didn't even study. I must be a genius. For those people, they're going to be upset they have to work. Like, it sucks, man. We're so underpaid. We're so underpaid. But your job should never fucking exist in the first place. So either or one of those, I would wait until one of those jobs came up, take the job. And then you've heard the articles before where once they collect, like Seattle, even though this isn't, well, you could say it's a government program, a minimum wage. These people all of a sudden wanted their hours cut because they were making too much that they couldn't afford, or they no longer qualified for these various social programs, these various government hand-me-outs and gimme-dats. They're like, no, I want less. So you'd have to kind of play it. But where was I going with that? Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what I would do to collect, still live off of the system. Now, just to give you an idea, I'm going to read through all 48 of the different links this website had to different types of assistance in government hand-me-outs and taxpayers' money. So when you say, oh, what would these programs be, Aaron? They're everything. Like I said, about the only thing they don't have available, not necessarily just the single mothers, but people who want to collect welfare and be parasites. Here's the list, okay? Section 8 assistance for this is all single mothers. Oh no, here it separates for single mothers. Low-income assistance programs for single mothers. Foreclosure assistance for single mothers. Like you get up here, we always get heat assistance if you can't afford it. The electricity companies can't turn off your electricity or heat during winter. Mortgage assistance for single mothers. Medical bills assistance programs for single mothers. Get help with buying your medications. Financial assistance programs for women. Organizations that offer low-cost credit counseling to single parents. That one I'm not too bad. I'm kind of okay with that. Local church assistance programs for single moms. Get help from the Salvation Army. Get legal assistance and advice. Help for single moms with paying off the student loans. Section 8 assistance program for everybody. Catholic Charities financial assistance for single mothers. Get help paying electric bills. Get help paying water bills. LIHEAP energy assistance program for single mothers. Low income assistance programs for everybody. Most helpful government assistance programs for single mothers. Grants and scholarships for adults going back to school. Assistance program for American Indians. Assistance programs for Hispanic single mothers. Popular charities that help single mothers with bills. Financial assistance programs for seniors. Financial assistance programs for disabled. Financial assistance programs. Financial assistance for single mothers, which I guess is different than low-income assistance for single mothers. This is a program for African-American single mothers, Perkins loans for single mothers, children's health insurance programs for single mothers, grants for single moms with no health insurance, how to apply for government benefits, food stamps for single mothers, unemployment benefits for single mothers, grants for paying telephone bills, debt consolidation program for single mothers. That would probably not be just a cash handout from the taxpayer. Bankruptcy assistance for single mothers, government financial help for single mothers, WIC program for single mothers, welfare benefits for single mothers, education grants for single mothers, cash assistance for single mothers, college grants for single mothers, free scholarships for single mothers, housing grants for single mothers, child care assistance for single mothers. And the fact there's 48 different links would lead me to believe that once again it's like, well, wouldn't those overlap? Yeah, they would, but one might lead to county, one might lead to federal, and all that. So that's all this. There's so you could just spend weeks going through this website and finding out what's out there. And I'd have a hard time imagining that you wouldn't at least have food, clothing, and shelter paid for by that time. Now, the final thing I would do as a single mom, I would stay hot. Because for all the government programs and nonprofit programs and assistance programs and educational helps and the complete bias of today's institutions like education, media, college, and all that, the only larger advantage I can think beyond that is the number one power that women have, and that is beauty. You guys have said that I've said this before, maybe not, you should look up the video. The number one power women have over men is their beauty. And through that beauty, they can get men to build civilizations and go make money and become rich and protect them and all this and their children. And it does women no good. This has nothing to do with politics, conservative or not, leftist or not, libertarian or not, feminist or not. It does women no good to get fat and out of shape. Absolutely no good. You're leaving power and cards on the table. You're leaving money on the table there. And so if you are a pretty girl and you stay in shape, a whole other world of benefits now open to you. Men want to take you out. Now you don't have to buy food as much. You could hopefully maybe get yourself a sugar daddy. You know, seeking arrangement, that's one of them. Where if you're a good-looking gal, you could get yourself a sugar daddy. At least it's an honest site, you know. At least it's like, hey, we're not... you can get better jobs. You'll get better treatment. Guys will make your life easier. They'll go, God almighty. I know this one guy's he's dating a single mom. And just the driving alone he does for that woman. The things he does to help her with career and education. You're gonna, cause you got a cute pussy, guys are gonna throw not just the resources, but their assistance, their help, their advice, and they're gonna leverage their network and their assets and their estate of sorts to make it so that you do better. I mean, and even I was guilty of this, although it wasn't a single mom. This was just a cute girl. She was from an incredibly rich family. And she was going to start a business because, frankly, she wanted to avoid work. And she was going to start a modeling assistance company or some crap like that. She's going to consult models or consult how to be a model, whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I spend all this time helping her set up an LLC, go to the bank, explain how to do it, showed her my accounting system that I use. And I even designed her cars. She bought her own cars, but we even designed her cars. They're actually quite sharp. I have a pretty good design. And she did absolutely nothing with it. Did absolutely nothing with it. All she did, she went out, found an engineer, got fat, had his kid. Now it's all over for that guy. But that's another thing where, you know, think about it. Normally I would have charged $100 an hour for that shit. I would have charged her about $800 to $900 to do that all for her. And now I'd be like, ah, fuck that, because I'm not a dumb 22, 23-year-old, however old I was back then. But that is another huge advantage, is where you have male expertise and help. So if you can be attractive and get men to do things for you, favors, drive your kid here, drive your kid there, I would do it. I absolutely would do it. And this has nothing to do. Now, of course, there are, you know, it's a debate. Are you really taking advantage of them? It's like, well, it depends, because, you know, what guy, like, yo, I probably know somebody who's got a kid. Like, oh, my kid, oh, I can't make it because, oh, yeah, I'll pick up the kid. So you do that for friends. But if you want to purposely take advantage of men and the system, I'm wondering if this isn't an even stronger advantage at maintaining your beauty, if that doesn't even bring in more benefits than the potpourri of different government benefits. But that's how I would, quote, take advantage of the system, because you're leaving a lot. I mean, we're focusing on government programs here, but let's not forget that the private sector also has some money, to the unfortunate chagrin of socialists and Obama and Democrats. So ladies, nothing wrong. Stay in shape and go get resources from guys. Go get resources from men. And they'll do it. They'll give it to you. In part because they want to bang you, but also in part because, oh, God, I really should help out or something like that. And it's genetic. It's freaking genetic. And so, yeah, don't leave that on. I wouldn't leave that on the table. So I would be going to the gym and staying in shape and all that other stuff. So anyway, so that's about it. That's it. That's how you can take advantage of the system. So if you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com, where I, America's only professional asshole, well, the world's only professional asshole, and America's older brother, will tell you what I think and yell at the internet as long as you pay me for my time. We'll see you kids later. Toodles.